Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here to take a look at what I believe are the 5 best cars in GTA. Now these are all cars that I own, but I figured the best way to test them all out. I have them all here at the airport in a deathmatch style thing, so obviously I can't host my own deathmatch, so we're doing a deathmatch creator test instead. So, number 5 on my list here is the Schlagen GT. I feel this car it's just very nice. I really enjoy driving it. It's really good sports car. It's probably the second best sports car I feel to race, to drive, and overall just to own. I really do enjoy just taking it out, drifting around, and honestly, once you modify it and upgrade it, put the big spoiler on it, it does make it very, very fun to use and just own, and it's really one of my favorite cars in the game, obviously, for those reasons. I don't know, it's just something that I bought one week when they had a Twitch discount. And I'm like, oh, I need a new sports car, let's check it out. And I really enjoyed it, really, just like having it in my garage. And, you know, when we do lots of races, race playlist, or just, you know, races online against random people, it's just a nice car to use in those scenarios. So now let's go find out what car is number 4 on the list. First, of course, we gotta take the Schlagen, get some speed here built up in this thing, and head down the runway. Not a modified car here, but it's still very, very fun. Coming in at number 4, the next car on the list is the Atelier GTO. The Grade Atelier GTO is, well, just a little bit better than the Schlagen, basically. That's what puts it here. I really just... This is such a fun car to drive. I've loved driving in free mode. Love doing sports car races to use it. I think it's such a fun car to own, and just, yeah, big fan of it. Another one of the cars I got with a Twitch discount, and yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. It's just really fun to own and use, and honestly, if you're looking for a sports car to race, this is my recommendation to use. So if you haven't been on the market for one, this is probably my recommendation to you. Looks awesome, and it's just overall a really, really cool car to use. And again, driving around in free mode, maybe you don't want to be like everybody else and use a supercar, and it's really just good for that. Maybe you don't want to be always doing supercar races, and it's really good for that. And of course, you can see it in our race playlist with Lamim. Every week, most likely, we'll see it in there. So now that we blew out the tires in this thing, let's head down the runway and hand it off to the number 3 car on our list. Of course, we can't really show the full speed of this thing because it doesn't have tires, but it is fun to actually drive cars, though, out the rear tires. You don't, as long as you're past level 25, which I am. Always get the bulletproof tires. So coming in at number 3 on our list, we're heading into supercar territory now. And the number 3 car on my list is the Progen Emirates. Now, I'm a big fan of McLaren supercars. I love the P1, and I love the McLaren Senna as well, and some of the other ones there, the 750 and the 640, whatever the hell they're called. They're all different names. 720, I think it is. Maybe 720 and 650, I don't know. And then 540, I don't know. They all have different names. But I just love all the McLarens I've been doing over the past few years, and the McLaren Senna is really, really cool. I love the glass in the door, just overall the looks of it, and you know, recreating that in the game with the Progen Emirates. They've done a really good job. It's one thing that's lacking maybe is the acceleration. Just get a little bit of wheel spin. And it will, slide on you in the turns. But overall, the Progen Emirates being obviously based on the McLaren Senna, it's just an awesome car, and it's really fun to drive, and it's pretty good in racing. You may not necessarily win out on the starts, but you do end up making up for that. The speed, a lot to watch out in the turns, but overall a very, very good car nonetheless. So let's test out its speed here a little bit down the runway. Taking the Emirates up to full speed. Here we go. Gotta go get the number 2 car on the list. What's it gonna be? We haven't done this list in a minute, so you guys may be surprised at what the number 2 car is, but the number 2 car is the Progen T20. Yes, a surprise to not see necessarily this car at number 1, but the Progen T20 is a car that I've loved since its release. One of the original cars in GTA to really go past the $1 million barrier. GTA was always defined by the Adder being the most expensive car at $1 million. You could buy anything in GTA that you wanted for about $1 million. And then in 2015, the final send-off for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, they dropped the whatever it's called, DLC, I don't remember now. Ill-Gotten Games, that's what it was. Ill-Gotten Games Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 featured the Pegassi Osiris, I believe it's Pegassi. And then the second one dropped the T20, the most expensive car in the game at the time. $2.2 million. And overall, it was just a really impressive car. The first car really to have a raising up spoiler, and it just did so many things that were unique. And being based off my favorite car in real life, the McLaren P1, I loved it from the beginning, and I loved racing it. I just loved everything about this car, and I've owned it since 2015. It's the only car in this game that I have in my garage really from then. Everything else is a 2019 car. And all the cars in this list are 2019 cars except for this one. And it's really just cool to have an older car, and you can tell it's got a little bit older style. It's got that older feel to it, because you just know it's an older car. But it's fallen down the list just because I have had it so long. It is nice to have a different car that you love driving. I still think this car is amazing, and I love having it in my garage. Every time I go in, I'm like, that's my car. But you get to a point where something new comes along that's just wows you more and has the same feel that this car had when it was released. 2015, this was the most impressive car in the game, and to me, the car that's number 1 is a little bit more impressive than it now. But this year overall, I love this car. I would race it more, but it doesn't have the speed to keep up with the the newer cars in the game. It's still from almost that old era. It was the last cars on the old generation of consoles, so it does have a little bit age to it, being from 2015, but it's still fun. So you may not see it in the race playlist, but if you watch some other videos, you may still see it there. So now we head up our long bridge ramp thingy, where we'll find the number 1 car sitting at the end down here. My favorite car in GTA 5. There's almost like a passing of the torch moment here. The old number 1 heading over to the new number 1. The Benefactor Krieger. This car just has everything that you want from a new supercar. The acceleration, the speed, the turning, everything about this car is super impressive. Statistically, one of the best cars in GTA 5 to drive now. I believe it's about number 5 or 6 on the overall statistic list. This thing here, based off the Mercedes-Benz Project 1, I believe is the official name of the car, which is not even a car that's been released yet. I believe it's supposed to be coming out in 21. I believe is the release date, 2021. Basically, they took from their success that Mercedes has had in the F1 racing since 2014 in the hybrid era. They've had such success, and they figured, why don't we take our super successful, super impressive hybrid engine from our car, which has won every championship since 2014 with both Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. That engine's just been so impressive. So many teams use it, and why not throw that engine into a road legal car? And that's what they're doing. They're working on this car, and I think the real version is going to be so impressive. As for the Krieger here, it just has that something about it. It's like that car is super unique. It's the same vibe that I got in 2015 when I first bought the T20. Now, this car was not one that I bought right away. It was something that actually came out because I played the Casino DLC right when it first dropped, and then did a couple days of it, maybe a week or two, and then I kind of just stopped playing GTA again, went back to mostly playing Minecraft. And then once the Casino Heist came out, then I'm like, oh, GTA's really actually been fun to play again. Got back into races, race playlists, all that stuff. And Lamine pulled this out in one video. He owned it, and he had bought it from doing something. Or bought it sometime, I don't remember. Obviously he did something to get it. I don't remember exactly what episode it was, maybe episode 69, which was our return. It was either 69 or 70. He pulled this car out, and I thought it looked kind of unique. And I'm like, you know, I've seen the picture of it. When he pulled it out to like race it, and he just destroyed me in the race, I'm just like, oh my god, that car is so impressive. And I just absolutely love driving the Krieger. It's so much fun. There's something about it that's just so unique. It's sort of hard to just put into words, but the power that it has, I think they really did a good job capturing the hybrid portion of the engine this car is supposed to have, because they put it in the game description. Obviously, they can't put Formula 1 as a copyrighted name, but in the description they said open wheel cars, which are what Formula 1 cars are known as. They're open wheel cars, they don't have covering over the wheels. And it said they took an engine from an open wheel car and put it into a road legal car. So I think they really did a good job capturing the essence of what a hybrid engine is. And the hybrid engines, of course, in the game you don't go by gas, so you don't see, wow, I have a hybrid, I'm saving fuel. But it does help with acceleration. Overall, hybrid cars have a little more quickness on acceleration, no matter what they are. If they're a supercar or a hypercar, you notice it a lot. But even something simple like a Prius or an SUV that's a hybrid, you will see a little bit of a boost when you accelerate, just because the battery-powered engines can give you a little bit more acceleration, and they did a good job capturing the game. This car, I mean, from zero, thing's just gone. There you go. You're already just up to speed. So then they did a good job capturing that hybrid engine, the essence of what it is to have an electric portion of your engine, which I think some of the other cars that maybe were lacking with. I believe I know the T20 is supposed to have that, or the real life version T20, the P1, is a hybrid engine, but you don't really notice that. The fact that it's based off a hybrid car, but with this, you really notice it. And the same like the Tesseract, they didn't really do that, where the Tesseract just instant speed. This car, you can tell, is built with speed of mind, acceleration-wise. So that there is my top 5 list. Number 5, the Benefactor Schlagen GT. Number 4, the Grate Atelle GTO. Number 3, the Progen Emirates. Number 2, the Progen T20. And number 1, the Benefactor Krieger. So that there is my top list of cars in GTA. Hope you guys enjoyed. and we'll see you guys in the next one.